Mike did, who's been here since the first year, and who's the first timer? How many people were at least here last year? Okay, a good number of people remember when we were at the Tomorrowland Terrace Noodle Station and we got to shout over Dream Along with Mickey. We got a microphone this time. Okay, so way back in the mists of time, back in the mid-90s, back before there was a World Wide Web, the Disney fans found ways to communicate anyway online, largely through Usenet and a group called Rec Arts Disney Parks. How many Red P members do we have here? How many Red P folks do we have? Okay, we got some. Red P was, and still is, very active. As part of Usenet, it did subscribe to part of the old adage that reading Usenet is like drinking from a fire hose. There was a lot of information there. But then all of a sudden, the World Wide Web came upon the scene. And everybody said, you know what, we don't have to use this one construct that's out there to communicate. We can all put together our own websites. And all of a sudden, all these different Disney websites started popping up all over the place. And it's kind of like a great diaspora. Everybody just spread out into all the various communities. Some people stayed with Red P, some went out to other groups, some did both. And there was all sorts of different groups, and people who were just new to meeting Disney folks on the internet would get involved with one or two communities and they wouldn't know all the other people in the other groups. Now, a long time ago, about 12 years ago, Red P decided to start having what they call the big meet and greet. A gathering at Walt Disney World once a year where everybody could get to meet everybody else. And that's still going on today. As a matter of fact, I think it's Red P13 this year. Red P13 is in conjunction with Mousefest, and I think the official event starts Friday. Right. So their events start Friday. You'll see in the pocket guide a lot of events say Red P on them, and that is still that same core group of people. 13 years in are still doing that. But what happened was, because there was this great diaspora and everybody had their own websites, and a lot of people weren't getting involved with Red P because, you know, when you're dealing with all the flashy stuff on the web, Usenet as a text interface, a lot of people didn't want to go back to that. So while Red P had this big meet and greet every year, everybody else out on the web, you know, they were just sitting in their own community, and maybe they'd have a small meet, but that was about it. And Deb Wills and Dave Marks and Jennifer Marks were getting together 6 years ago after the end of Red P7 at the Cruise Cup Lounge.
Yep.
Okay? Cruise Cup Lounge. And they're saying, you know, this is really great, but wouldn't it be even better if we got all of the different groups together to do one big gathering? And that way, you know, it doesn't matter what website you read, what discussion forums you're a part of, everybody can get together and everybody can share their love of Disney at one time. Now, let me just take a step back. The reason that the Red P Big Meet and Greet was scheduled for this time of year is because you've got the holiday decor up, you've got good weather, you've got off-season rates, and Red P would alternate between the first and second weekend of December, so that way you would buy your annual pass when it was the second week, and it would still be good the following year when it was the first week. Unfortunately, because of the logistics of including the cruise with Mousefest and the fact that the first week of December will sometimes carry the cost penalty of being a Thanksgiving weekend departure, we had to standardize Mousefest on the same weekend every year. And so Red P will still have a meet on the weeks when they would normally do the second week, but on those, last year I think was the first time that happened, and they had the big meet and greet in October, so they would be able to get that second week. But this all started with Red P, and the description of what we're doing here. Mike and I have different ways of describing it. Mike refers to it, and let me make sure I get this right. Mike refers to it as the annual international gathering of Walt Disney World fans from around the internet and the world. I read it off the script. I kind of think of it differently, partly because of the entire history that I told you. I kind of think of it as the gathering of the tribes of the Disney Internet community. We had the great diaspora, everybody went off into their own individual website, and most of the time, all year, we play on our website, the 2 or 3 websites that we visit, and we never see anybody from anywhere else. But we all share a love of Disney. And we all love coming here. We love sharing our enjoyment here with other people. We especially love other people who get it. Everybody knows people who, you're going to Disney again? But everybody here, you don't have to explain. Everybody here knows it. So when we put together an event and we say, hey, you know what? Let's all go on Soarin' together. Everybody says, yeah, that's a great idea. So that's really the heart of what Mousefest is. Now, looking back to the first Mousefest in 2003, the only one that I missed, that started in the Copa Banana Lounge. The Mega Mouse Meet was in the Copa Banana Lounge at the Swan and Dolphin. For those of you who have ever been there, smaller than this room, isn't it, Mike?
I'd say it's maybe 1/10 of this one.
All right, 300 people, which is, I don't know, about how many we got today? With the Mega Mouse Meet. That was the Mega Mouse
I
Meet.
think we've got about 300.
Yeah, so this is how many people came to the Mega Mouse Meet. Or not last year, 2003. This year we've got 950 people registered. That doesn't count all the people who say, well, I'm not going to register, I'm just going to show up, which is fine. You know, you don't have to support it, but we thank every one of you who did, because if it wasn't for everybody registering, we wouldn't have this room. We wouldn't have the room at the Yacht and Beach Club. This is what the registration supports. It supports the lanyards, it supports the pocket guides, it supports all that stuff. We thank you very much for registering. But we have 950 people registered this year. We have, I don't have my numbers here, but we have dozens of websites, podcasters, authors. Everybody is here. Everybody is together, and we're all here to enjoy Disney together. And I think that's an absolutely fabulous, fabulous thing. And it's a great thing to see people every year coming back. You make new friends, you meet old friends. Some people become indelible and you can't forget them. Okay, let me ask this. How many people have been to a Mousefest before? Okay, now, no, leave them up. Only put your hand down if you don't know who Ray Sharpton is. I don't think a single hand went down. This is what I'm saying. There are people who you meet that you really just can't help liking. You love seeing them every year. And one of the reasons to come back is just to come back and see everybody. And it brings home that we may have our own individual websites, but we're one big Disney internet community. And we're all having fun together, and that's what this is all about.
I didn't hear anything.